Is there any reasonable expectation? Do you think that this can end in a relatively short period of time in a way that is clearly favorable to Ukraine and indeed to us and to Ukraine's allies? Well, I don't see it ending favorably in a short period of time, in large part because I think the US has proceeded without a strategy in the conflict, deterred by Russian threats of conventional military pressure elsewhere or saber rattling about tactical nuclear weapons, and I think something that puts a lot of Republicans in a very difficult position supporting the Ukrainians in a war where they don't think the president really understands what he is doing. I mean, just take for example the argument one after the other about shall we supply this weapon system, shall we supply that weapon system.
How about that weapon system, and eventually the stuff finally gets through to Ukraine, but not in a strategic way. Strategy conceptually is not that hard. You define what your objectives are and then you make sure you have the resources to accomplish them. That's not what we've done. In Ukraine we've fed and peak meal capabilities that the Ukrainians have turned a good advantage, but this war has not been fought strategically. The Ukrainians have done an amazing job. I give them due credit. I acknowledge. As Secretary of Defense Austin said, I think about a year ago, that the Russians are feeding their army into a wood chipper. I think that's an entirely good thing for the United States, but I do think this war would be in much different shape and could be over by now if we had a more strategic approach.